Hello, welcome to When Wagon Wheels Were Bigger, the only podcast that's basically two grown men watching kids' TV that you'll hear in the next 30 to 40 minutes, probably. My name's Martin French.
And I am Mark Palmer.
Not very sure of yourself either, apparently.
I'm having the crisis of conscience at the moment.
Ah, right, okay, fair enough. So this episode, we've decided to watch Fraggle Rock, which, I don't know about you, Mark, but I actually found it quite difficult because it's very hard to make fun of something that is actually quite good.
It is. It's good. It's quite, again, it's quite boring.
Yeah.
But as we've mentioned before, it's probably not aimed at men in their mid-30s who should know better.
We should know better.
We should know better. So it can be forgiven, but technically it's very well done. It's got a nice, there's a social structure I quite like between the Fraggles and the Dozers. It holds up. It holds up. I mean, it's not funny particularly. I don't ever remember laughing at it as a child, if I'm honest. I'm trying to, this is going back a bit to the 80s when memories were different. That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. It's it holds up very well. I think that's true of most Henson things, though. There's a sort of degree of watchability that they sort of maintain whether you're a kid or an adult. But it's an interesting one to watch, definitely.
It was interesting because when we start playing, I'll mention the things that I have not made notes on physically, but have made notes mentally, and by that I mean hopefully things will occur to me as we watch it.
I think that's the only way to go about this. So I think all I'm doing really is apologising in advance. If you're sort of listening to this hoping you were going to hear us mocking something that we're watching, that's probably not going to happen very much. I'm sure we'll find some excuse to mock it, but
we may just mock other things that have happened or that we remember about.
So, feel free to watch Fraggle Rock along with us. Maybe turn our volume down and just watch Fraggle Rock. If you've got young kids, let them watch it because actually it's really good as a kid show. I would say, but
I think it's nice. It's quite wholesome. It's quite heartfelt. I don't know. It's just quite nice.
What I'm essentially saying is, don't listen to this podcast. Just go and watch Fraggle Rock,
or watch The Storyteller, which is also a very good Jim Henson production.
Watch something by the Henson Company in the next sort of 30 minutes instead of listening to this.
Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
Labyrinth.
Anything like that.
The Muppets.
It's all good.
Sesame Street.
And so on. Should we click play?
Okay, play now.
Again, it's another one of those shows that's got a very, very good theme song.
It has got a theme song.
And it does hold up very well.
I won't do this for the whole time.
It sounds a little bit like that, though, yeah.
It does. It does sound a little bit like that. I mean, my favourite bit of the opening theme comes along in a minute where they name themselves.
Yes.
This bit. Go red.
Yeah, you've got no idea. All you hear is Gobo. All I hear is Gobo and red, actually. But all the rest of it is just a blur. Gobo,
if short, one letter off. Gobot, which is something we may look at in the future.
My God, the eyes, though. That still freaks me out now. What are they called?
The
Gorgs? Yeah. The way he's just demented eyes.
Yeah.
He's so pleased and excited.
Technically, I know I said that a minute ago, but technically this is very slick. In terms of the transition between, the Dozers are really quite an achievement, I think. I know they're probably just like clockwork, but even so, the mouths moving and everything.
There are moments where there's so much puppeteering happening, so many technical things going on. There's a big shot towards the end where there's a good couple of dozen Fraggles, all being, manipulated by the puppeteers, and there's so much going on. There's doozers going on in the background. There's lots and lots happening. It's a big, like you say, it's a very big, good technical achievement, this whole TV show.
It doesn't need this old man though. Ooh, about time we did some exposition.
The dog puppet's good as well there, see,
it is. What's the dog called again?
Oh, Sprocket?
Sprocket. Is it the same dog in The Storyteller? It's very similar.
I don't remember The Storyteller very well.
Storyteller was excellent.
It's a very similar puppet, at least.
Now, this I remember watching the show as a kid, and him obviously getting the letters from Uncle Travelling Matt.
Yeah.
But I don't ever remember this episode, because I don't remember Uncle Travelling Matt actually leaving on his journey. So this was quite good for me, because it's kind of brought back a memory of Fraggle Rock, from a kid, thinking, oh, yeah, I used to, love the show and everything. But now actually seeing, I don't know whether I did assume this as a child or not, but I assumed that he was just travelling straight away.
Yeah, it's one of those, again, it doesn't feel like it had an arc, but I guess it did, because it starts with him leaving. It'd be interesting to see if Travelling Matt does come back at any point at the end, or if it just
when
goes
it's
on.
shot. But didn't it change? Because obviously it's this old guy's workshop, for what, I don't know. But doesn't it change the venue and the owner of Sprocket at some point? I seem to remember being in a lighthouse.
I honestly don't really remember much about the old man. I remember the dog
again, this just proves no research again. I could have looked that up.
Very little research. I know there was an animated version of it as well, but I don't know.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't remember seeing that. So.
I don't know if I'm mixing up several shows here with the lighthouse.
I think, again, there's so much similarity between this, like anything with, because they're just Muppets, aren't they? Basically, it's almost like these are all the Muppets that were made and couldn't be used in anything else, and just got thrown into a warehouse, and somebody went, we better do something with these, really, and then made Fraggle Rock.
Let's come up with a collective term for what these are.
Yeah.
Imagine him believing that old legend.
Now, in this interesting fact for no one here. But in the village that I grew up, that you are aware of,
yes,
there was a man, and his nickname was Fraggle. Now, I'm looking at this show, I'm trying to think what the comparison was that was made.
Did he have little sticks on his arms?
Maybe he lived under some rocks. Maybe he shared his house with tiny little builders. Maybe he saw tiny little builders. I don't know. I've never really. I never really thought about it. They jump in water a lot, the Fraggles, don't they? That's just to show. Look, we can puppeteer underwater. Wow, look at us.
But look, see, this is another example of. Look how much puppeteering is happening there. That's quite a big team of people having to operate all of these puppets.
So you've got to wonder
Muppets.
whether. Yes. I don't know whether they could afford to do a show like this anymore.
You've got to wonder. But isn't this like technically an educational show? Was this one of those things that's
I don't
in
think
America
so.
that was
on
on
PBS or something? Like Sesame Street.
I don't know enough about it. Again,
I don't know, because
no
Sesame Street's been cancelled, hasn't it?
Oh, has it? I'm quite sad if that's
again, I could Google it. Maybe
we should be Googling things. We should really Google a good half an hour before we start recording.
You should, really. I'll tell you what, any American people listening, maybe tweet us, because let's face it, we're not going to look after we've recorded this either. So maybe tweet us to save us the energy of using our fingers and or thumbs to look in our iPhones as to whether it's been cancelled.
Something else that occurred to me, and I don't know if this is obvious or implied anyway, but Fraggle Rock, is the double meaning of rock because there's so many songs in it? Is it about, the music as well, like rock?
Wouldn't that be Fraggles Rock?
I don't know.
Unless only one of the unless Fraggle Rock is they're only referring to one of the Fraggles, possibly Red.
Maybe. I don't know. I just wondered if that was anything to do with it, whether there is a double meaning implied.
Now, while I was watching this, I was trying to determine who the Scrappy Doo of the group would be, and do you know what? I struggled. If I had to say, it'd have to be. I can't remember their names other than Gobo and Red. And
it's Wembley.
Wembley
is who I would volunteer as the Scrappy Doo.
I think we should define. I mean, this is episode 5 now. I think we should define what I mean by the Scrappy Doo of the group. I don't mean the go-getter that wants to have a fight. I just mean the most annoying character in the show, is what I mean by the Scrappy-Doo of the group. Not the have-a-go hero, because no one likes Scrappy-Doo for that. There was no redeeming quality to Scrappy-Doo. So yeah, I guess Wembley. He's the one in the Hawaiian shirt, isn't he?
Yes.
Do they have an understanding of where Hawaii is, the Fraggles?
I don't know, because...
In outer space, obviously.
Well, yeah, as they call, outer space. But it's bizarre, because obviously it does take place on Earth, as we find out later, because Travelling Matt...
But it does. But then where are the Gorgs?
Well, and also, how big are the Gorgs compared to a human? Because they can pick up a Fraggle in one hand, and yet the Fraggle is established as being about the same size as Sprocket.
I could pick up a Fraggle in one hand.
Terrifyingly huge. I thought they're bigger than humans. So where... And they've got like an open sky environment as well, so...
So are they travelling between dimensions, do you think?
Ah...
The Fraggles are kind of the conduit between our dimension and another.
And the Muppet, and the Henson Company.
The Henson, yeah. So maybe the Henson universe is a conduit between our dimension and another dimension. I mean, this might be a bit deep for this podcast.
We are struggling at this point.
I am a deep thinker.
There's not very much to say about the episode otherwise.
There
As you
isn't.
say, it's quite slow moving, but it's
just nice.
It's entertaining, and it's nice and it's well done, and the songs are good. There's nothing really to fault here because it's doing what it's setting out to do.
Yeah. Although I don't think it would be well received with today's children's audience.
Do you not?
No. Well,
why not?
2 reasons. My sons.
They watched it.
They watched it. Yeah, I'm forcing all of these shows on them to watch. They didn't. It wasn't they didn't enjoy it, but I think it was a bit slow moving for them. You could see they were getting a bit restless. I mean, whether that's just boys, maybe.
But have they watched other sort of Muppet?
Yeah, they like the Muppets
programs and films and things. So it wasn't anything to do with like they didn't like the puppets or anything.
No, nothing like that. I think I think it's quite long, really, for nothing much to happen.
I suppose it is, yeah.
But then simpler times.
Simpler times. There was a line of dialogue which I meant to comment on earlier, which was that I think it's is it Booba says it's unlucky to tug your tail, and I did write down, well, I won't be playing the lottery for a while. Just couldn't let that one go, really. It's one of the few things I actually made a note on, so it was worth bringing up, I felt.
Do you call it your tail?
I'm not going to go into any detail. That sort of tramples on the joke a little bit.
Sorry.
Halfway there.
Halfway there, kids. Stay tuned for more.
See, no, again, though, we're here. I actually thought they were a lot smaller than they are, because when, Travelling Matt comes face to face with a dog, and he's basically the same size, he's the size of a small child here. He's under a window, that, for scale, that gives you an idea of, and next to a car.
And a hydrant.
So again, a Gorg must be massive to be able to pick them up in sort of, one handful being, the same size as a Fraggle.
These kids would have... Do you know what would happen in reality? These kids would have seen Travelling Matt and then bludgeoned him with their baseball bats.
That would have been a very short series, though, wouldn't it? Or next episode, still no word from Uncle Travelling Matt.
And it just going to a battered corpse on a pavement. Like roadkill. Oh, he's not travelling anymore.
Yeah.
Except to the morgue.
Also, I guess that means that Fraggle Rock, well, obviously because of the inventor character, that starts somewhere in America, but I don't know how far he went throughout this series. Yeah, look at the doozers are so clever. I know, like you say, it's really simple, but it really is quite effective.
Really good. Now, what's this toy called? That's way bigger than the others and has actual proper hands that can catch balls. We find out later. Moki? Yeah, we know someone. Moki is the hippie of the group, the snivelling hippie. It's like someone we used to know.
Yes. Very similar to a real life person. I never thought about her hands being real as well. Yeah. Well, not real, but being operated by an actual hand inside. Yeah.
Because all the others are hands with sticks, like typical Muppets. Whereas, this one is she has because the one with the ball, she throws the ball.
Yeah.
I think. Well, she certainly picks the ball up because she's the only one capable of picking the ball up.
I suppose again that's another point in its favour is that it's something like that I hadn't even picked up on because I just took it for granted that they would be able to pick up a ball, and so I'm completely sold on the universe.
They're not real.
Don't ruin it.
It's any excuse for a song, though, really, in this, isn't it?
It is, but that's why I'm wondering if it is, the double meaning for rock.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I didn't realise how many songs are in. I thought there might be one song in an episode.
Do you know what?
But
I don't remember there being any songs in them.
I didn't either. I didn't,
be honest.
really think.
Also, has Wembley had a stroke? Because one of his arms really... Look at these, they're amazing. I love the doozers. But what is their purpose? What is the purpose? Do they just have to build things? Is it just...
They enjoy building, and what they build, which I didn't remember this, that the Fraggles eat...
I remembered that.
Roads and bridges and structures.
But it's like the doozers aren't aware of them.
Yeah, they just sort of go on oblivious of everything, really, don't they? And then just like when something's eaten, they build more.
Yeah, it's like when Wembley eats something in a minute, they just kind of say, "Oh, I love building," or something. Something doozery. Look at that.
Almost like
doozer.
The Fraggles are some kind of deity figure, or I don't know. They're this sort of omnipresent.
The problem here is that Wembley isn't actually eating anything in the way that Cookie Monster never ate a cookie.
But I sort of forgive it again because it just, I don't know. I think I did genuinely watch this with a more childlike mind than a mocking adult mind.
Slightly less cynical. I think something to do with puppets, maybe. Maybe it's puppets.
Yeah, that's what it is. There's no. It didn't actually. I wasn't able to be cynical about it because a good sort of 30 seconds in, I realised that this is really good.
Yeah. There's something about puppet. I've always had a thing about puppets, other than this kind of puppet, not any sort of super marionation, whatever that means.
Which I don't know if we'll actually be able to get into that because I'm not sure if that will count, but we'll see maybe in the future.
It's just finding the episode. Right, so he's about to go out into the Gorg world.
Yep, which again looks very much like a sort of... It's an open space, so if it's part of the Earth, then these things are on an island somewhere that humans haven't discovered yet. God, what a nightmarish discovery that would be.
It would be. There's something quite terrifying about it. I don't know what the Gorg's name is because I don't think it's actually named in this one.
But it's because his eyes are so animated. Look, he's quite sleepy there.
Yeah.
But when they open fully, that just sends shivers down my spine. Oh my God, that's awful.
What does he want the Fraggle for? Is he going to eat it?
Is it ever established? Are they food for Gorgs?
Is he going to use it for another purpose? Come here, you Fraggle.
He doesn't try that hard to catch him.
Maybe the Gorg's name is Richard Gere.
There's an 80s reference.
To bum fun. Now, I'd completely forgotten about the trash heap. That was
I had to.
And these, whatever the hell these things are next to it.
These weird little sort of Salacious Crumb type characters next to the trash heap Jabba the Hutt.
Do you know what I like about the trash heap?
Nothing.
No, she's got sass.
She has. She does have sass.
She's got the whole head rolling thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's got the dame head and the glasses. She's got sass, hands on hips. Don't you give me no sass.
She's got it all. She's the whole package.
She is. I'm not attracted to it.
I'm not falling into your traps.
Oh, damn it. Look at her sass, though. Aren't you attracted to the sass?
I do like a bit of sass.
I tell you what, she could bottle that sass. She could sell that sass.
She could.
I actually did the hand and head movements as I said that.
You were doing the whole sass thing on your end of the phone call.
I imagine that she would probably say girlfriend after a lot of...
She probably would do those sort of Z snaps. I'm not going to say Z snaps because I'm English.
And as we all know, it's a Z. Not a Z.
Now I do have a small game to play. I don't know if it's worth doing it while there are gaps in notes, or we should do it at the end.
Well, I haven't got notes, so that my notes are one big gap.
Well, I thought I'd call the game "What a Muppet," because there is a double meaning to the word Muppet in the UK. Basically,
If you're a cockney.
I've got some names, and
Okay.
I want you to tell me whether they are a Fraggle or not. Right? So we'll go through. I'll just choose a few. I might not do them all.
Okay.
So the first one is Henchy. So is that a Fraggle, or is it not a Fraggle?
I imagine it's like the Fraggles, maybe one of the main Fraggles' friends, who's not quite as important as the main Fraggle, but still serves a purpose.
He is a Fraggle. He is, yeah. He's an assistant to the world's oldest Fraggle, and his job is to correct the world's oldest Fraggle, and then get hit with a cane after saying, "I know that."
Like a henchman.
So yeah,
I nailed
That's
that.
a point. A real Fraggle.
I've got some
the next
sass.
one you have. Next one is Gonch.
Gonch. I like saying that. Gonch.
Fraggle or not Fraggle?
Not Fraggle.
Correct. That's the nickname of Luke Gonch Gardner from Grange Hill,
Of course it is.
a UK high school drama series on the BBC.
Was he the ginger one? Was that Gonch?
I think he was. Yeah, I think he did have ginger hair.
I remember
I'll do another
Gonch.
one.
Gonch.
Pogo.
Pogo.
Now there's a
Pogo.
terrible monster living there.
Fraggle or not Fraggle?
Pogo. I like saying Pogo as well. Gonch Pogo.
I just feel so
Fraggle.
alone.
No, that's Douglas Pogo Patterson, another ginger child from Grange Hill in the 1980s, I think. Yeah, he was a small, overweight child who basically got picked on.
In Grange Hill.
In Grange Hill, yeah. Then you'll see there is a pattern.
All right. No, if I have
Which
Grange
is
Hill
gonna
in my
make these
head,
a
I
bit
might
easier.
get more of these. Okay, carry on.
All right. The next one is Loco.
Oh, that sounds like it should be a stupid kid's nickname in school.
Is it Fraggle
Loco.
or not Fraggle?
Loco. Oh, not Fraggle.
Correct. That's Kevin Loco Lockery.
I hope you're
don't
going to
think he was in
say
Grange Hill very
Gripper
long.
in a minute.
I'll scrub that one out because you already know that one.
Gripper
So Gripper
Stebson.
is Norman Gripper Stebson from Grange Hill.
I remember
Harmer.
Harmer.
Fraggle or not Fraggle?
Harmer. Is that the depressed one? Is that the depressed Fraggle? I'm going to say
What do you...
Fraggle.
Correct. Yes, he's a Fraggle who plays on the rock hockey team. I'll do another one. Tegs.
No, that's definitely Grange Hill.
Yeah, Terence Tegs Ratcliffe.
I remember Tegs. Friends with Ziggy.
Exactly. Last one then is Feeny.
Feeny. That's got to be a Fraggle.
Ah, yes, correct. Best friend to Large Marvin Fraggle. Which was written on my list to start with, and that was too obviously not a Grange Hill character.
Are these Fraggles that appear in Fraggle Rock or just mentioned in Fraggle Rock?
They are in the Wikipedia page of extended character lists.
Oh, so it's like the Star
they're
Wars
sort of-
extended universe.
No, they are, I think, in episodes. They do appear in some episodes, I imagine, just not in this one. But yeah, there you go. So I think you got all of those. No, you didn't get Pogo. Apart from that, you got
I didn't
all
get
of those right
Pogo
there.
because Pogo
But
sounded like a Fraggle.
Grange Hill is a good source of Fraggle type nicknames.
It really does work.
That was my
I'm
short
kind of
game
sad
that got us-
I guessed Gripper.
Got us through a few more minutes where nothing actually happened that was worth commenting on in Fraggle Rock.
I wonder what he's going to make in his workshop.
He doesn't seem to make much. He doesn't ever get around to fixing that hole, does he?
No. And what's sad
Which
is
would be job number one, really.
he's probably dead now. Which is quite sad.
It is really. You've just put a real downer on that.
I have. So here's the ball. Now you can see they've all got sticks. Well, you can't necessarily see the sticks, but you can see they don't have hands that move.
They don't have articulated fingers.
Yeah, whereas Moki, in a minute, I'm sure, for a start, she's got her hand on whatever his name is, shoulder. I've forgotten his name.
Booba.
Yeah, him. So, and also she's a lot bigger. I wonder what they decided. They needed one that had opposable thumbs.
Again, I don't think it was a decision. I do believe that a lot of this was just, here are some Muppets that were half made or hanging around a warehouse. Let's stick them in Fraggle Rock.
Do you think it's like the because if you go online, you can order a Muppet, can't you? You can make your own Muppet. Yeah. I wonder if
What, like of yourself?
yeah, or as close as you can, anyway. maybe this was the prototype for that. They thought, we could make our own Muppets, and they made some. Thought, they're not very good, are they? Let's make a show.
And some terrifying children were turned into these Muppets and traumatised for life, and then ended up on Nightmare.
No, that's a good show. Nightmare's a good show. I don't think that dog would have the knowledge or know-how to order a subscription. Using his paws to read, I'm confused.
Now, is it an offence to throw away someone else's mail?
It is. I believe in America it might even be a federal offence. So that old man is breaking the law.
I wasn't sure. I thought I'd run it past you.
Lucky he threw it there, wasn't it? And didn't just tear it up.
Yeah. Out the window.
Why is he scared of the ball as well? I don't get it.
I don't understand very much of this, to be honest. The trash heap was where it really lost me for sort of making sense. Oh, this could be a bloodbath.
It could be. Muppet limbs everywhere. What can we do? What can we use to distract them? Well, maybe he doesn't. Maybe look, her hand. She's pointing. Look, there she goes.
Yeah, both hands as well.
Both hands. So who's controlling? So that's 2 puppeteers controlling her then.
It must be, unless one hand was already on the ball, like stuck to it. But
yeah, why did they choose a stupid bloody hippie one? You think Gobo would be...
You're quite prejudiced, aren't you?
About hippies, yeah.
Yes. About one particular hippie in real life and in a Muppet TV show.
Yeah, more in real life though. But you think they would have given Gobo, who we can only assume is the main character, given him the hands?
Well, but then if I don't know.
It's not important. It's not important. But here we go. Look, all these Fraggles yet again.
I do enjoy them getting thrown in the air as well as they celebrate. There's no way they're jumping and doing somersaults like that. Somebody is throwing them.
Yeah, no, they're certainly not doing
another
it on their own.
Muppet, another Fraggle is throwing them. Obviously, I know there are puppeteers throwing them. I'm not that mad. I've not lost it yet.
Why are they all in his bedroom? Do they all share a bedroom? Oh, I see.
It's always exciting in Fraggle Rock.
See,
That's what's
Boober is really a real downer, isn't he?
Yeah, well,
it's always exciting in Fraggle Rock. That's what's wrong with the place.
He's got a bit of a hippie vibe to him again. I mean,
that's why I quite liked Boober. He was one of my favourites.
He says here, you still having a real problem with that hole. Oh, I'm sure I'll get round to doing it sometime. Do it now. You've got your tools right in front of you, you lazy old man.
He's not got anything else going on.
You've got... It's a real mixture of tools there. I wonder what he's going to...
He's put them away now.
Like wood tools, metal tools,
I'd forgotten this scat version of the end of the actual theme itself. They obviously start singing properly, but the scat opening to it is really good.
I like Wembley's bit. Do.
Yeah, it's I really liked it.
So really, they've kind of been selected as the faces of the show, haven't they?
Yeah.
Gobo and Wembley, and also you've got a bit of red as well.
Yeah, you can only make out the beginning and the end of that.
I guess Moki Booba Red.
Because again,
Gobo Wembley, Moki Booba Red.
Until I looked up the names, I thought it was Goober instead of Boober, but
Booba sounds like boobs.
It does. But then Goober sounds too much like Gobo, I suppose. I don't know.
I don't know either.
But yeah, so that was Fraggle Rock. As we've said, really. I mean, I liked it. I think
so
it holds up really well.
Who? I mean, we've done this in everything else. Who was your favourite Fraggle?
I do remember it being Boober, even though I obviously didn't get his name right. But I liked the cap. He's got no eyes, that you can see. He's just got that miserable vibe about him. He's much more visually distinct, I think, from the others as well.
He is.
But I did tend to sort of drift towards the more downbeat characters. I think it's like Eric in Dungeons and Dragons. It's that kind of thing. Did you have a favourite?
I imagine as a kid, I don't really remember, but I imagine it probably was Wembley, to be honest. Despite the fact he was a scrappy do, which could be forgiven, I think, in this instance.
It's not. Yeah, it's a different. Being the scrappy do of this group it was a difficult pick to start with.
It was,
and doesn't mean as much, I think, in the context of this. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think I liked them all, but I do remember distinctly not liking Moki. I don't know, because obviously as a child, boys, you don't like the female characters as much. Don't know.
You don't. There's something wrong about any boy that likes the female characters, and I think that carries across into many different areas, such as computer games, which still today I tend not to choose a female character in a fighting game.
There you go.
Whether it's Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, whatever. I'm not saying I'm sexist.
Fair enough. I'm not going to say that either because
I'm not.
Because I know you're not. But no, I don't know. Yeah, I think Boober was my favourite. But I do remember watching Fraggle Rock quite a lot as a kid. But like you said, I don't remember that episode.
No.
But I think they all sort of bleed into one another. There's it's just all look very much the same.
Just a shitload of Fraggles.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's difficult to keep the same sort of mentality that we've had for the last few episodes while watching this, because it's it's an upbeat sort of show. It does what it sets out to do. It's quite entertaining. They're good puppets. It's very high production values, and
it's still quite a good watch. So
and it holds up. And I think I know you said that your children didn't like that, but are they slightly too old for it now?
Maybe. I
don't know what the age range really is for.
I've no idea
what the target audience is.
I think probably 5 to about 36.
Good, that's all right then.
Get in. Another year.
Next year you will hate that.
Next year I'll be too old.
We should do it again next year.
Next year I'll be.
You should watch it when you're outside of the age range.
Next year I'll be too old for most things.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, you better get cracking. There's probably a few things you need to get done. And that was made in 1982 as well. That's slightly older than I thought it would be. Yeah.
Jeez, so I would have been 3, and you would have been younger. You would have been younger than me.
That will always be true.
Even then, you were younger than me.
I know. I'll never catch up.
You'll never catch up. I'll always have that. I'm going to hold on to that. The one thing I'll always have.
It's a good victory. So there you go. So we've established that. But I mean, if that was new, if you hadn't already seen it, would you have? If your children were watching it, would you?
I would have given it a go. I think it's just nice, isn't it? Like I know I've used that word several times. It's just nice. It's nice. I like it.
It's a bad descriptive word, but it does sum it up because it's not got the comedy of something like the Muppet Show.
No.
But it's quite heartfelt. It's not mawkish. It doesn't really. It doesn't drag. I meip it's like you say, nothing very much happens, but it doesn't feel like it takes a long time.
No.
And it's just good. I think if I did have kids, I would quite happily show them that. And I'd like to think that kids of today would find something enjoyable in it.
Yeah.
Maybe slightly younger kids. I think maybe that's what it is. If you sort of shift it slightly younger now, because the music and the puppets and things, I do think there is still room for that to be entertaining to young children.
No, I agree. I mean, maybe what you should do is just go get some kids.
Not again. Never again. So that's the end of this episode, I think. Unless you've got anything else you want to add to the Fraggle Rock discussion.
I was just going to say on that worrying note.
That's Fraggle Rock. If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's @SpreadTheWhimsy.
You wait for me to say something.
I thought you were going to jump in. You can.
No, I agree. That is where you can find us.
We are part of the website Fountain of Geek, which is a good place to go for geek news, reviews. There's another podcast called If You Like, which is worth checking out.
If you like.
And if you like.
Check out If You Like.
The human recommendation engine, where you can find lots of good recommendations for movies, TV shows, books, etc. That's us done for another episode. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Cheers. Bye.